Poland Daily Business, and tonight we'll obviously talk about coronavirus outbreak and its economical consequences for the companies and for the state. The tax revenues are going to be jeopardized very much. And Jerzy Martini, VAT specialist, is our guest tonight. So welcome to the show, and please tell us, how do you see the tax revenues in terms of slowdown in economy?
Well, obviously the tax base will be reduced. That's no question about it, because as we see, it's for many businesses, it's a huge challenge. Some areas of our economy, tourism, transportation, etc., are slowing down on very large scale. So it has an obvious link with the taxes they pay. So the problem of our state is that the budget, which was designed in, let's say, prosperous years, assume that our economic position would be generally positive. The growth will continue, although slightly reduced. So any projections about the taxes, income of taxes for the states should be considered now, well, totally wrong. So it will be probably a very tough year for the state in terms of financing and the income of the taxes.
So the Law and Justice government 5 years ago started the very open and lavish social policy, pretty much leveling to the social policies of other European countries.
Rich countries, yes. The problem is that we are still on the slightly different position than countries which have long economic growth for tens of years, which have not suffered communism, etc. So I think that, of course, some extent of social welfare is obviously a good idea, and what we experienced from 500 plus, the first version, it seems that there were a lot of positive elements, but as you mentioned, very lavish social policy, too lavish, let's say, in comparison to our real possibilities, now can become real problems, because as some EU countries manage to use those times of very positive times for economy to generate surplus, budgetary surplus. In Poland, we always had deficit. So when we spend too much money on our expenditures in good times, the problem when the difficult times come, we'll have problems with financing those things. So, yeah, it will be very tough.
From what you are saying is that the government was basically gambling on growth in 2020, and saying and assigning the expenditures against the possible incomes.
Exactly.
But those incomes will not realize, what will happen to expenditures?
That's a good question. That's a very good question, because if we had, I would say, some margin of generated during the prosperous years, it's not a problem to now use this money for slowing down economy which is slowing down, or financing such expenditures. The problem is that our debt is relatively still high, and I don't expect that government will introduce significant cuts in expenditures. So what we can expect is, on the other hand, increase of debt, which is a very bad scenario for our country, because, well, we still have relatively good position in terms of demography, economical situation, and we are still increasing our debts.
Okay, that's a bad scenario. But as an economist, let me answer one question. I will ask you to answer one question. After the economical slowdown, what we expect in economy?
Well, okay, that's a good question, but usually economy gets better, etc. But the question is when the economical trend will change. We have witnessed a very long years of growing economy.
Right.
This is quite unnatural, a naturally long period. So I would not be that optimistic that say, okay, we have a difficult year and then we'll grow again. I think that rational scenario would be that this could be an impulse for a longer
slump. Yeah. But we already had that in 2008. This took unusually long in Europe. The China didn't even notice the crisis in 2008. United States managed to get over in about 2 years. In Europe, it took like 8 years or 7 years to get back to the positions from the 2007.
Sure, but this is all speculation. We cannot, we cannot be sure what will happen next year, in 2 years' time or 3 years' time. But the decisions of the government need to be taken now or in a very near period. So that's I would say a significant problem for the government how to deal with this huge problem from the point of view of economy and taxes and managing those lavish social expenditures. This is of course for the politicians it's a very bad scenario because especially our ruling party is considered to be very generous for those less fortunate element of our society, and now is saying to them, well, we need to cut our expenditures, so sorry, no additional pension, no 500 plus for every child.
Delivering the previous promises is, I guess, enough.
It's extremely difficult. I would say it would be rational to say that now the government should revisit and reconsider its previous promises because they were made in different situation, different scenario. Everybody thought that, okay, maybe the slowdown would be a fact, but again, in Poland, it probably should not be very, very strong. So. But now the situation is totally different.
The situation is different, and we will see how it will change. You mentioned, Mr. Jerzy Martini mentioned the speculation. We love to speculate in this program, don't we?
Of course.
Thank you very much. That's it for Poland Daily Business tonight.